We're live. It already went live. Okay, that was fast today. What's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the Detox Podcast, episode 293 to be exact. And if you're new here and enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole bunch of that stuff going on around here. When you do subscribe, leave a like or hang out with us in the live chat like you're going to do today. Helps us share conversations and laughs like this with more people. So do consider doing that. Now, before we can jump into today's episode, we got a lot to get to. It's a crazy week. Well, last week, between filming last week's show and then this week's show has been kind of crazy with things going on in pop culture, NBA. The Super Bowl happened and plenty of things to do with that. So we're going to get into all that in a second. But before I do that, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about vacation time. It's that time of the year here in the Midwest where it's getting chilly. It's actually very, very cold today in Milwaukee. Not a bunch of snow yet, but there is snow up north. And let's be honest, if you're a winter lover, a winter sports lover, then now's the best time to get away, and there's no better place to do it than with today's video sponsor, Alpine House 2. Alpine House 2 is the spot to be in Iron River, Michigan. It's a classic Swiss chalet duplex A-frame with a log cabin interior located directly across the street from the Ski Berlay Resort in Iron River, Michigan. It's surrounded by forests, lakes, rivers, obviously Iron River. It makes it the destination for fishing, hunting, hiking, snowmobiling, and other winter sports like skiing, snowboarding, etc. It's an absolute vibe up there. It's beautiful, especially if you're a nature lover. So why not check out Alpine House 2 in Iron River, Michigan for your next adventure or peaceful retreat. They're on the screen right now. It's at ALPINEHAUS number 2 on Instagram. That's at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. Tell them Rita Detox sent you, and they'll set you up with a vacation. They're on Airbnb right now, too, so if you don't want to go through Instagram, you can do that as well. But shout out to them for sponsoring another episode of the podcast. Now, we got a lot to get to because I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast know that I'm a huge Drake stan. And the Super Bowl happened this past weekend, and it is not always, or I should say it's not the best time to be a Drake stan in the public eye. So me coming out and saying this is brave, believe it or not, that I'm still rocking with Drizzy. But yeah, I want to get into the Kendrick halftime show. I mean, first off, I guess we got to talk about the game because last week I have a clip that's like getting a bunch of views of me explaining how I don't understand the Chiefs hate, and then the Chiefs got smoked, which I know most of the world rejoiced in, and Philadelphia sadly will pay the price for. But it's cool. I mean, I don't have any ill will. I didn't really care who won. I just thought it would be cool to see a three-peat in the NFL. Because I will. My last piece on that is like I know I ranted about it last week about it's kind of lame to just hate somebody just because they're doing well. I do think I had to say this to somebody at a Super Bowl event where I was explaining like I'm never gonna root against somebody like a winner just because they win. You know, I got to have something else. And there's a lot of people that just don't like that they win and then they find something, they reach for whatever they can. And I think that's a little lame. I just think that is pretty whack. Yeah, Philadelphia is on fire right now as we speak. I don't know. Can we pull up can you look up the Philadelphia mayor asking them to not pull down the light posts and then she said, please don't climb the light post because last year, people, or a couple years back when they won, they beat the Patriots, the city was absolutely destroyed. And then a couple years ago when they lost to the Chiefs, the city got destroyed as well. I think, there should be like a TikTok. It's hilarious. It's so funny. And then we'll get into the rest of the Super Bowl stuff here. Can we find it or no? You won't be able to find it. That's fine. I got it. I'll pull it up. It just cracked me up, dude, because like poor. Oh, you have it? Yes, no? That's fine. I just don't want to have a bunch of dead air here. So if you have it, you have it. If not, then okay. I'm going to pull it here. This shit, it just blows my mind how. Why? Does anyone know why? Like, if you're from Philadelphia, I actually have people that are fans of the music because I've talked to people in and around Philly about doing a show in Philly, and I just gotta ask, why? Why is that a thing? Why do we do this? Like, why are we burning stuff when we win? Like, I think it's funny. Have you seen like the colleges that will like? There was that one college that they beat. Was it they beat Alabama or they beat somebody big that they weren't supposed to beat, and then they like ripped the goalpost off the fucking field and like went and threw it in a river, and like that's insane but hilarious. Just like destroying random businesses in your community because your team wins the Super Bowl. I don't know. I just don't understand the reasoning, I guess. And I've been hearing a lot of talk, especially when we talk about the halftime show with symbolism and whatever. Maybe there's some symbolism that I'm just not understanding about the burning of small businesses in Philadelphia. Let me see if I can find this. I can't.
I have like an article.
I don't want the article.
Video, but there's an ad.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we won't get it. Look it up on TikTok. It's hilarious.
Play the video
Sure, play the video. Play the video.
of them carrying the light post.
Yeah, play the video of the light post, please. It's yeah. Switch to yes. There we are. Yeah, so this is Philadelphia right now. Last night at like 3 a.m. Which I didn't know it was that easy to just take down a. You know, I mean, I respect. Is there sound on this? Do you have sound going?
What?
Did you have sound going that whole time?
Yeah.
Can you turn the sound down so it's not blowing people's ears? Because that means they couldn't hear me probably. The sound on YouTube. It's okay. Why are they beating it down? That's what I wanted. Like, why beat it down after? It's not a living thing. Do you think like the people that do work for the city are excited about this? Like, they're like, oh, it's gonna be a busy, like a busy few months. Like, we're gonna have some extra work to do. Like, we're gonna get paid overtime, get some extra hours. Because like in retail, like around Q4, they pretty much give you unlimited hours. I used to work in retail, and it's like when you get close to that Black Friday all the way up until Christmas time push, it's like you want overtime, you get overtime. Whatever you want. Do work as long as you want, work as little as you want. We don't care. I feel like if you work for the city of Philadelphia, it's probably got to be about the same thing if the Eagles are in the playoffs. Because holy shit, man. And it's kind of a good thing. Think about it. It's probably good that the Philadelphia 76ers just continue to suck. Like, it's great that Joel Embiid is hurt, because if he wasn't, that city would be on fire more regularly probably. But yeah, so the city is on fire. They played great. They came out hard, and the Chiefs got smoked. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like the first Super Bowl party I ever went to was the Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos. And the Broncos just got absolutely like. I mean, we can't even say, like, you can't say the words that happened to them anymore, because it just was, it was a fisting, dude. Like, they got on the field and they just got absolutely smoked. It looked like the Seahawks were on like ketamine or something, and they just destroyed them. And this was not quite that, but it was close, maybe a tear down. But we'll get to what people want to talk about. They want to talk about the halftime show, Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of people online, especially I'm from a very small white rural town. There's a lot of people that immediately, whenever a non-white artist, it feels like, performs, they immediately go to Facebook and they're like, I can't understand anything that they're saying. This is the worst halftime show ever. There's no live instruments, blah, 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 all this, whatever. And that's pretty lame. If that's the kind of critique you're looking for today, you are not going to find that here. I think Kendrick Lamar is an extremely talented artist. And I think he makes a lot of great music. And I want to kind of look at this as someone, obviously I mentioned at the beginning, I'm a Drake stan. So I'm going to try to be as objective from my point of view. And that's my bias. I'm obviously going to be partially biased, but I want to kind of take it step by step, give you my notes on the performance. I had some friends text me, how do you feel? Oh, Drake's getting smoked on TV. He's getting smoked on TV. This is how I feel, if you're curious. First things first, Uncle Sam being Samuel L. Jackson is dope. That is flat out dope. I get what they're doing there. I think that's really interesting and funny. We got Marcus is back in the chat. We got came for the Oreos. Yeah, we're gonna be getting to Oreos later, guys. We'll be getting to Oreos later. I thought the Uncle Sam thing, great. Also, side note with that, the framing and the cinematography, especially when it came to like transitioning from Kendrick to Samuel L. Jackson, I thought that was like flawlessly done. I thought the framing, the cinematography, that was just really good. I thought that was extremely well done, and it was cool to see sort of him being Uncle Sam. And it was interesting. He was sort of being like, he was like a surrogate for the people that I was just mentioning, from like a white rural America, or not really. He was more so like, he was just trying to. It was interesting that he was trying to like tell Kendrick, like he was trying to be this voice of reason, to be like, yo, do what the white people want you to do, like do whatever. And Kendrick was kind of doing his own thing. I understand that, and that's what I want to get to too. There's a bunch of people talking about like the symbolism. Oh, if you didn't like the halftime show, you didn't get the symbolism. Now there's things to not like about the halftime show. I'm gonna talk about some of that stuff in a minute. But there is plenty of symbolism that was going on, like political symbolism that was going on, that I think was really dope. I thought it was really cool that Kendrick stood in between a divided American flag, like the dancers turned into the American flag, and that was divided. I thought that was really interesting. I think it's really cool that he even mentioned the 40 acres and a mule line with, President Trump being in attendance. That was something that, like, at a Super Bowl party, there's people like talking or whatever. I did not hear the first time that I like watched it, and getting to watch it back in prep for the show today. That was kind of cool to see that. I thought some of the other cinematography and the way that they structured things, and again with Sam Jackson in the middle of certain songs being like, no, that's too ghetto, that's too whatever, don't do that. And then you think Kendrick's gonna do, he plays like a popular song, like he does DNA or whatever, and it's like, you think, okay, he's going to do the hits now. And then that's what literally Samuel L. Jackson is like, okay, that good. Just keep doing this. This is what America wants. This is what they want. Nice and easy. Just, this is a layup for you. And then he goes back into the deep cuts. I thought that was cool. He had something he wanted to say. I respect that. That's neat. I will say, I thought like the jeans have been going viral. Everybody is talking about how much they love the jeans, and I thought the jeans were whack. Just whack, man. I mean, he's a short dude, but they were not helping him look, and maybe he didn't want to look taller, but they were not accentuating his body in a way that I thought was cool. And maybe I shouldn't be thinking about it that way, but like, I just was not vibing with the jeans. I thought they looked really dumb. And like the little flare out at the bottom with his shoes, I just thought it was weird, bro. Jacket was dope. Whatever, the background dancers, I thought the costumes was cool, especially that it turned into the American flag. But I will say, I think like some of the dancing in general, there was a couple of moments where I thought the choreography was well done, and then other parts where I was like, there was a lot of just like Kendrick's energy on stage was a lot of just like what is that move? He was just like, he's like talking, and he was just doing that, like it was like, I just didn't like the stance he was in. I didn't know. It was making me uncomfortable. I was like, this is a little weird. This is just kind of low energy to me. From a physical standpoint, right? There was that one part in time where he was kind of like having to walk with the people, like it was like a somewhat of like a gliding step, almost. I wouldn't call it a jog, but him moving around a little bit. And I thought the breath control was great, especially rapping the lyrics he has to rap. That's really, really hard to do. But just the energy wasn't. There was never a point where you were like pumped up, and I'm sure I'm gonna get crucified online, and people are gonna be like, "That's not what he wanted to do. That's not what he wanted to do." Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. Then I guess you knew exactly what he wanted to do. Other thing that I thought that I didn't like, so a negative. I think I'm pretty positive so far. I think something I thought was a little whack was just the backing track on certain songs, like having the Like there was like 2 or 3 points where he had literally backing vocals do like the big part, and I'm like, man, why didn't he, like, it's like on the transition or on the drop of a song, or like the switch from one song to another, and it's like it would be the track playing it, and he was just kind of like whatever. I'm sure he was taking a breath, but I'm like, dude, like that's where I think we would get the energy, is when he on those big switches, when the lights and the bass hit, like. I just thought it was lame that there was even a backing track at all. And that's not a knock on just Kendrick. That happens a ton of times with the Super Bowl where people have backing tracks. I know there was the big thing a couple years ago when Usher did it, and Her came out with the guitar, and people were like, she's not even playing the guitar, which I believe it was proved that she was, but either way, like it looked like she wasn't. So people got really mad about that. Something I did think was cool, again, as a Drake stan, I got to respect this creative decision. The edging Not Like Us, I know you're doing that for the people that rock with that. Him edging it like 2-3 times before he played the song, I get that. That's a cool creative choice. I have my thoughts on the whole Not Like Us thing, and we'll get to that in the end here. But I that's a good idea. That's a smart idea. That's what I would do. I would do a similar thing to that if I know, oh, that's what everyone wants, and the people don't know if I'm going to play it because there's this impending lawsuit and whatever. I'm gonna tease it, and then tease it again, and then hit it with it at the end. Right? I thought that was a good idea, and him not ending on that I think was smart too. That he did another song after that, because then it didn't. I still think it overshadowed everything else, but it didn't. At least in his mind, you could justify like, okay, I'm not ending on that. I'm not saying that this is the pinnacle of the performance, whatever. I do think another positive thing, Luther and All the Stars. I think like SZA, I think she stole it. I thought like her vocals were crazy on both of those. Like I thought even his vocals on those two songs specifically, I thought they both were perfect. Like that was money. And I will say like I thought some of the choreography early on was a little like not bad, but just kind of like like lame. I thought SZA's choreography was a little bit better. Like even her background dancers like had more to do and like I don't know. It just seemed like there was a little bit more energy, even though she wasn't like singing something that's really uppity. I thought that was cool. Let's see what else did I have here. I have my notes here. That they were okay. Yeah. Another criticism. So the Sam Jackson thing, right? I get what they're doing, having him be like the stand-in and be like, oh no, you should do what they want, do what America wants. Don't do that rap shit. We don't want to hear all that ghetto rap shit. Do the pop stuff. And then him being like, oh, I'm not gonna do the pop stuff. But then he like still did the pop stuff, and he's still doing the biggest thing that you can do really, other than like I mean we'll talk about it later. Drake's going to do the World Cup. I think that's probably comparable to the Super Bowl, especially in America, definitely bigger. But like I don't know. Then there's this whole debate too. Like there's been a lot of artists that have turned down, a lot of black artists that have turned down doing the Super Bowl because of like all the racial injustices that people see in the NFL, and with Colin Kaepernick specifically around that time is when they were reaching out to people like Drake and whatever, and him standing on that and turning it down. Not just him, there's been other artists that turn it down because they're like, nah, I'm not rocking with the NFL like that. Like I'll watch the games, but I'm not gonna make a bunch of money or draw a bunch of eyes to this event for you guys. So I do think like there is a little bit of a that's a little bit of an interesting thing. I also thought I was disappointed because I don't understand why Kendrick, if I'm Kendrick and I'm like the arbiter of social justice in rap music, we'll say, and maybe that's not fair to put on him, but or maybe not him, but definitely his fandom definitely represents him or presents him as that. Like this would be the perfect time, being the LA guy that he is, to bring out another LA dude in YG and play FDT for DT. Like, how easy of a layup would that be? Yeah, still do your Not Like Us thing, and we're going to get into the whole fucking Drake and whatever. Do the Not Like Us thing, whatever. But that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the guy, like, who you're going to do all these things, like, okay, prove to us, because you're taking the check from the white man right now, and you're doing, and even if you're making fun of the pop stuff, you still did some pop stuff. Like, this is the moment to like really, really say something, you know? And I do think, and I'm not discrediting, because that's why I keep seeing people online being like, oh, if you don't fucking like the performance, then you just didn't get the symbol. You're just an idiot. It's like, dude, I get it, and I rock with all that shit. I rock with all the symbolism. I rock with what the statement he's trying to make politically. I love some of that stuff. But I'm saying, slap these people over the face with it, bro, because they're not getting it when their takeaway is, I couldn't understand anything he was saying. Okay, bring out YG, have him go fuck Donald Trump 20 times and make them bleep it out. Like, that would go crazy, man. And that would be like, shit, like, he's really doing it. Would he probably be alive after the performance? I don't know. But that would be like, okay, you're really standing up for this. Like, you're really doing this. In my opinion, I think that would have been crazy. Also, so now you guys are going to see my Drake bias come out. SZA and Drake dated a long, long time ago. Little thing. I don't know if they like dated, like officially they had a little fling long, long time ago. Drake and Serena Williams allegedly had a romantic relationship years and years ago. And apparently it's like an own that Kendrick is on stage with both of them. Kendrick, who's like engaged to a woman that, if we're talking about this beef and the allegations that Kendrick has thrown at Drake. Drake threw at Kendrick that he beat this woman that is the mother of his children. So, like, I just don't get the own. Like, that felt like some high school shit to me. It's like, okay, so you're on stage with a girl that he smashed. I just don't know what are we like, because that's what people are talking about, the symbolism. I get all the political stuff. What is the own right there? Like, what is the own? How did he get him by doing that? Like, everyone was like, yo, having Serena crip walk at the end is the cherry on top. I'm like, is it cool that Serena can crip walk? That's cool. I wish I could crip walk. It just looks cool to do. But I don't know. It's like I'm thinking about it. Like, if I was Drake, if I was Drake, it would probably be hard to sleep without hearing the dun 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 dun. Don't get me wrong. That would suck. I'm hearing it like, since that fucking performance. It's the only thing I can hear in my head. So I can't imagine for him. But I will say, if I was him, I don't know how, like, that specifically would get to me. Like, okay, like, we smashed, and you're on stage with my op now. Like, that's just corny. I don't know, like, I don't know what statement's being made there. So maybe that is going over my head. Because I've been hearing, all the symbolism is going over your head if you don't get it. So the Serena thing I didn't get. I do wish, as a Drake fan, that he wouldn't have quit. And this is where the cope comes in, because I genuinely, like, it does bother me. Not Like Us is a good track. I think it's a really, really solid diss song. It obviously was enough to sway opinion in said beef to a point where it was like, okay, this is now a cultural thing. Like, we're all gonna be online making fun of Drake, doing whatever. I get it. That's undeniable. But I don't know if at the time it really was. And this is where I get a little annoyed. There's so many fucking people that are casuals that sit there and they're like, oh, he's probably a minor. Like, and Drake got smoked. Da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, unless you've been following this shit for years, unless you've been listening to all the tracks, like, you don't even understand that, like a lot of people don't even know, like, Drake dropped Family Matters, which I think in a lot of ways is probably, in my opinion, my favorite song of the back and forth between them. He drops Family Matters, where he's still having to address, like, the 10 other people that were dissing him, and he leaves plenty of space to just go straight at Kendrick. And again, one of the things he levies at him is, hey, while we're digging shit up on each other, it looks like, you might have beat up your girl, and how come you don't live with her anymore, and how come this and this is whatever. And Kendrick, being smart, didn't respond to that. Kendrick didn't reply to the fact that he bought the leaked information. Drake, like, leaked to the mole in his camp that he had another daughter that he was hiding. And Kendrick uses that in, like, the first song of the beef. He's like, oh, well, you're hiding a kid, trying to pull the Pusha T. And Drake laughed at his ass, and he's like, dude, you literally bought the fake shit. So that means you're literally, like, scraping around trying to find anything on me right now, So I felt like that should have hurt his validity. And I also feel like, if we're just going to go, I can just call you something, and you can just call me, like, then if that makes me the thing, like, if you call me something that makes me that thing, then him calling Kendrick what he's alleging at him should make that him by people's logic. But Kendrick was way smarter in that he dropped 20 minutes after Drake dropped that, and that's not an exaggeration, because I remember I was working this karaoke thing that I had to be up into the late hours of the night, early hours of the morning, and I remember when Drake dropped, and I listened to it, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I don't know what the fuck Kendrick's going to say to this. And then it was like 25 minutes later or something like that, Family Matters came out, and I was like, holy shit, this is still going on. Holy cow. And then he dropped Not Like Us, whatever, a couple days later. So, yeah, having his exes call him a pedo. I get it. Yeah, I don't know. So, like, I think he got outmaneuvered. I just think he got outmaneuvered, and I'm disappointed in him that he didn't keep going, because I just feel like by everyone else, by the public's logic of, okay, it doesn't matter that you called Kendrick this thing. You said that he beat his wife or his fiance, because now we're on to the next thing, which is he's saying you're a pedophile. Okay, so if I'm Drake, I would just learn from that pattern. It's like, okay, wait, so I can allege this at him, and that's the word for 20 minutes until the next song comes out. Now the next song is out, and it's saying I'm this. Then why would you get online and be like, because that's what he did. He dropped, like, a freestyle being like, dude, I've never done that. That's not me. Da, da, da. Why would you even be defensive? I would fucking ignore it the same way he ignored it, and I would just come back at his throat, with another track. But he didn't, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed as a Drake fan. I just think he could have won, and I'm coping about that a little bit. But that is just the one thing I want to say. Like, there's a lot of people posting like, oh, the revolution will be televised, da 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 da. I had friends of mine. I have so many creators that I'm mutuals with on TikTok that are reposting stuff like, Kendrick is really, really making a statement. He's really doing this, and this, and I'm like, and they're like, and he's dancing on Drake's grave the whole way there, and I'm like, I don't know, man. If I was Drake, I would drop right now. I would drop a fucking song responding to that, and I would make fun of. I've seen Drake live. I'm sure Kendrick's better live in his actual concert setting, because the Super Bowl, that's hard to do with all the cameras and whatever. But if I'm comparing that performance to seeing Drake on this, it's what was it? It was a Blur, or what was the name of the tour we just saw him on? It was all a blur or something like that. If I'm comparing that performance to the performance I saw Drake last year here in Milwaukee, it's not even close, dude. Not even close. Drake's energy, energy was way better. Vocals way better. So I don't know. And that brings me to my next thing as we kind of get off this or whatever. So that's my take, because people want to know, like, what do I think? I feel like that's a pretty unbiased take coming from a very biased person. I'm obviously very biased towards Drake. I think there was a lot of great stuff in that performance. I am not one of these fucking weirdos that are like, oh, this is terrible, blah, 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 blah. I think there's a lot of dope stuff. I just have a little bit of a problem with, like, the high school cool, like, bandwagon, like, oh my God, like, let's make fun of Drake. Like, it gives, like, kid with fucking AirPods and fucking Jordans that he's wore 2 times being like, yeah, Drake got smoked in this one. Like, that's what it gives me. I know I like, and maybe that's my own trauma, like remembering kids in high school that were like that I just can't get behind the dick riding. And I love Kendrick Lamar's music. I think he makes some really, really good stuff. I'm not saying that I believe what allegations are thrown at him, the same way I'm not saying I believe the ones that are thrown at Drake, but I am saying I'm not going to sit there and, like, prop this guy up as like, oh, he is the savior. He is the one. He really took a stand against Donald Trump in this Super Bowl. Like, that's a little bit of a stretch, guys. He could have just not done the fucking Super Bowl. He could have not shown up in protest. He could have done one song and said, fuck you, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of other things that I think would have been a little bit more of, like, a poignant, like, of the way people are talking about it is like he did one of these other examples that I'm bringing up. That's all I have to say. And I don't think he, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Drake, without Drake, I'm not going to say Kendrick doesn't happen, but Kendrick's career may have taken longer to happen. Drake fought really, really hard to put Kendrick Lamar's first ever national tour was because of Drake. Drake pulled for him. Drake, same with A$AP Rocky, who I get doesn't like Drake because Drake was with Rihanna before he was with Rihanna, whatever. These guys, like, Drake fought for these guys to be on his tour before, whatever, and he made hits with them. So it's like, and all these other people too. So I think it's a little corny. SZA was on the last album with him, so I don't know how he could take it. I couldn't imagine, like, thinking you're cool with these people, and maybe he is a really piece of shit person behind the scenes. I don't know him, but outwardly, and that's all we know, that's all we can accurately speak on, is, wow, he has done a lot of good work with a lot of these people, and they all of a sudden all hate him. And so it feels very cliquey high school, like, oh, this guy won the fight, like he got in a fight in the cafeteria, and now everyone's going to pretend like they didn't rock with the other guy ever. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it. I'm probably going to get destroyed for that online, but it is what it is. I still love Drake's music. I hope that this new album with Party Next Door is good. That's all I can say. And Kendrick will. I can say this for a fact. Kendrick will never be as big as he is right now. That I can say. Maybe that's my Drake stan and me being a little bit of a hater coming out. He will never be as big as he is in this moment, and that is thanks to Drake. Yeah. And yes, I saw the A chain. I saw that he's wearing a chain that says fucking A with an A on it, like for Aubrey. I get that. I get it. That's yeah. Okay, segue. Female performers, I do gotta say, before we're off the Super Bowl thing, female performers, I think the bar is way higher. Because I that was the one thing that I just kept saying, even when I thought Kendrick did a great job with his vocals, even when I thought the choreography was inventive, and the symbolism was great, I do got to say, like, every time there's a female artist that does a Super Bowl, or even, I mean, maybe not in general, but just specifically the Super Bowl, I'll stay on that. I think that they just put way more energy, way more effort into almost every aspect of it. And that's what, like, I heard someone during his halftime show in the room I was in be like, well, he's old, like he's older. And I'm like, dude, didn't Shakira and Jennifer Lopez do this shit like 4 or 5 years ago? And I mean, they're in their 40s. Are they in their 50s now? Yeah, they were like in their early 40s. And there was like a whole minute at long ass shot, close zoom up, where they didn't stop shaking their asses, and they were dancing and singing and performing the whole time. Like, there wasn't like, like there wasn't a backing track, there wasn't whatever. Like, so I don't know if that's a valid excuse. Oh, he's old. Like, I don't know. I think we cut a lot of male artists a lot of slack on some of that, and I just moving forward would like to see some better stuff. I thought the A was for Adonis. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's okay. It is okay. The game did suck though, so that's it on the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was really, really bad to watch. Some of the commercials I saw were okay, but yeah, that was it. If you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial, let me know in the comments. I would really love to know which ones I should look up, because I like wasn't paying attention to many of them this year. Okay, so we touched on that. Now we have to get to one other thing before we can get into the food portion of this, which I know people want the food. What the hell is going on with the NBA? Because for people that don't follow the NBA, I'm sure I've been seeing memes about it that like girls were like, is your boyfriend also freaking out about the NBA trades and blah blah blah. The NBA the last like week almost made me forget the Super Bowl was going on, because if you don't know, Luka Doncic, who is like the Mavs' best player, franchise player, who's only 26 or 27 years old, that he got traded for an aging star in Anthony Davis, because apparently the GM and the team agreed that maybe Luka isn't as dedicated as they was like. He's not in as good of shape. He gets hurt too easily. And so they wanted to go for a star that, if you don't know who Anthony Davis is, gets hurt all the time pretty easily. Some would argue maybe isn't always in the best shape cardiovascularly, like, right? Because he's hurt all the time. He's sitting out all the time. And he's just older. Like, it's the same issue, but he's older. And yeah, he plays in the post, a different position. I don't know. I thought it was weird. I think the Mavs get better for a year or two, but I don't know that it's like a great long-term deal. You got rid of a 26-year-old superstar, like mega superstar. And it just blows my mind. I don't think the Lakers deserved it. I don't think they deserved to have him as a star. Like, they didn't make any good moves. It seems like just like a bonehead decision by the Dallas Mavericks, in my opinion. I would have moved other assets and brought more in for Luka and built around that than getting rid of him. The tongue one was crazy. Yeah, the tongue ad was crazy. That Super Bowl one was weird. And Jimmy Buckets to the Warriors, bro. I don't know how to feel about that. I thought it was kind of dumb at first, but then I watched them play the other night. They looked good. We'll see if it lasts. You guys know I'm a big Warriors fan. I love supporting Steph Curry, so hopefully he gets the help he needs to actually have a chance. But otherwise, dude, I just think the NBA is insane right now. It's a big chatter that the NBA sucks, is boring to watch. I'm not going to say it's not boring to watch. There's definitely a lot of regular season games where you're like, this is not basketball. This looks like you're playing at a rec. Like a rec basketball thing at a Y, and I'm playing with a bunch of scrub like 14-year-olds because they're just jacking threes. That does happen. Now, I don't think a lot of people are jumping to the conclusion of like, oh, we got to get rid of threes. We got to push the three back. We got to make the three-point line. I think Colin Cowherd said put the three-point line into the bench so that there's no such thing as a corner three anymore, and that'll help the game. I don't really think you need to do any of that. I think you need to make players learn how to close out. And I'm not saying it's easy, because they're closing out on the best players in the world, but like there's a lot of games where you don't even see a closeout. If you guys don't know what a closeout is, all you're doing is if someone passes me the ball and you're on my defender and you're coming out, okay, if you just run straight at me, what am I going to do? I'm just going to dribble right past you because you're coming full speed this way. I'm just going to go right past you, score, right? Or if you didn't want me to run right past you, you might run out and kind of slow yourself down as you get in front of me, but now you're leaving too much space, so I'm just going to shoot because you close out too late. So a closeout is you being able to full sprint as an athlete and chop your feet to athletically slow yourself down and still be in a position where if they try to drive, you can move with them. But if they go up, I can follow the shot, right? I can contest it. I just think there's a lot of NBA guys that are not doing that are not like fundamentally sound on that. So that's my 2 cents on that. And yeah, now we got some Oreos. We got some Oreos to get to. My personal trainer recently followed me on Instagram, so I hope he's not watching this part of the show because he will be disappointed. My diet has been great. My diet has been actually pretty fucking solid the last like 2.5 months. I've been pretty locked in. But this show, people know that I'm going to do this. New Oreo comes out, I'm going to eat it. Now, I don't just have these Oreos, right? We have Post Malone's Oreos. I also have, I don't know if you guys noticed this. So Subway doesn't do $5 footlongs anymore, but they do $5 footlong desserts. Look at that. And you know what's insane about this? I ordered this from Subway as a pickup order, and I walk in to go get it, and the lady at the counter is like, hey, how can I help you? I'm like, I got a pickup order. It's for Darren. She says, oh, okay. She turns around. She hands me the package. I grab it. I walk out. I'm like, wow, this feels fucking big, man. Like, it's squishy, too. Like, it must be fresh. And I'm sitting in the car, drive back to the apartment, getting ready to do the show, like, about to walk in the building. And I'm like, wait a second. I look at it and it says David M. And I'm like, this is a meatball marinara. That is why it was squishy and warm. This is not my fucking Oreo dessert. So then sprint back to the car, drive back over there real quick. Fast and Furious style, Tokyo Drift, fucking park. I see a dude through the window fucking throwing his hands up, whatever. It's David M. So I just literally handed David M. his sandwich. She handed me my Oreo thing. And now we're here. I'm excited to eat this. Can I get some milk for these Oreos though? Yeah, can I see it? We might need that. Before I got to preface this, and you guys all know, I'm an Oreo lover. So that's why, again, if my personal trainer is watching, that is why I have to eat a new Oreo when it comes out. We ate the Sour Patch ones a long time ago, and that was terrible. But, we did it. I'm going to try out. Anytime they drop something that's new, that's interesting, I have to do it. I have to. I have friends that reach out to me specifically because they're like, hey, did you see this? Are you going to eat it? And I'm not just going to eat it. I'm going to document me eating it. So what should we do first? I think we'll do the Post Malone Oreos. The Oreos first. Okay, so we got Post Malone's Oreos. It is neat on the package. I'll try to get the glare off of there. The package is brown. I was confused at first. It is... They are all guitar picks. And then the Oreo itself looks like a record, like it has like a record design on it for, Post Malone. So on the box it says Posty swirled salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream. I will say that is something that I'm super jealous of celebrities when they get to like do this. Do you think how involved do you think he was? Because if I had an Oreo flavor coming out, I would be at the fucking lab testing whatever the fuck they do to get these flavors, because I would want it to be, whatever it is. And I wonder, like, if you got to sit in there in a room and be like, no, it needs a little bit more of this, or no, I don't like that one, or yes, this is the right way. Like, that would be so fun. I can't even lie. That would be really fun. Now let's get this guy open. Get some ASMR for you. Whoa, look at that. That fucking smells crazy good. I can't even... Holy shit, man. Do you guys ever do that? Am I the only person that does that? I love to sniff. I mean, I don't really sniff Oreo boxes like that. I know what Oreo smells like. But that smells good. There's these things. I think I've talked about them a long time ago on the podcast. They used to be called Kazools. They're now called, like, ropes, sweet tart ropes or whatever. They're the red ropes with, like, the actual sweet tart in the middle of them. So they look like a Twizzler. They're not a Twizzler. They're heavier. You get them in like movie theaters and shit. Dude, Those, I can just smell the inside of that package and it's like crack. I'm like, whoa. Like, I've never done drugs, but I'm just imagine it's got to be close to what that smells like. What would be your Oreo flavor? That's a great question. I don't know. I just love Oreos so much. Like, I love classic Oreos so much. Like, that's what I get for everything. I'd have to really work with the scientists on that. I'd have to really get in the lab and lock in. That's what I'd be focused on. Dude, these smell good. These smell really fucking good. Look at that. So you got, it's like a, on the one side, you have like the golden Oreo. So like the graham cracker. I don't know if it's actually graham cracker or it's a different flavor. And then you have the regular Oreo. And this one's got a truck and a record. You can't see it because it's a little far. But I believe because that's his new album, right? The new album has like a big truck like sitting perpendicular to the ground or something. I think that's what it is. But we'll give it a taste, okay? I'm going to go raw first. I'm going to just do it just straight up, see how it's like, and then we'll do it in some milk. All right? That's good. That's really good. Dude, I know a lot of people really like to hate Post Malone, and it's probably going to look bad that I'm like a white dude that is loving this right now, but it is so good. That is really good. Like, yeah. That's stupid good, man. Oh, this one's got Post. Oh, you guys can't see. Can you see it? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to dip this in some milk. I'm going to move this logo around so people can't see the logo here. Check out my milk cup. That's pretty. Look at that. Dude, I'm telling you, if you guys don't have one of these, you're messing up. This is good. Go get these from Target, Walmart, wherever. It's even better in milk. Fuck, man. It was 2 for $7 at Target today. That is good. This is weird. I usually never get good things. I'm usually like, I don't really have a lot to say because I have like, I can describe how terrible something is pretty well. I think maybe that's just like me being unhappy with my life. It's really easy to critique things. This is good, man. Holy cow. Post Malone. Dude, he did a good job. He does a bunch of podcasts. I haven't seen him eat these on a podcast. He should fucking eat these on a show with somebody because that's legit, man. That is very legit. Wow, I'm impressed, Post Malone. Shout out Post Malone. Not that he needs it. Shout out. Go try these if you haven't. I give it a 10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10. It's fucking good. Like that's the best thing I think I've had on the show so far. Someone should make a compilation of all the things we've tried and what I've rated them, but that's got to be the best. That's got to be the best. We'll see. We got a cookie now. It's not as warm as it once was. We're going to move on. So this is the Subway $5 Oreo footlong dessert. And it's got cream in the middle here. I've heard mixed things about this. I wanted to cut this with a knife or something, but I don't have that available right now. So I'm just going to like rip a chunk out if that's okay with you guys. Look at it. I'm going to scoop a chunk out. And then we will and then I'll give you guys my rating here. Yeah, maybe you can get a knife if you want. That would be nice. Or I can do this. Oh, I think I got it. Okay, I got it. Look at this. I got a chunk. I got the cream in there too. You can't really see. I don't want it to fall apart. That's a good chunk right there. What do we think? You like the idea of this? The idea of this sounds good. I will say, I don't know why we can't get a $5 sandwich, but you can make me $5 fucking giant dessert. Like, how hard is it? Like, it really, I can't get a sandwich with fucking lettuce. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. It's good. It's not as good as those. Maybe that's not fair for me to be rating it against that. This is, like, it is, I'm sure there's probably some Subways, like sometimes you go to a certain Taco Bell or a certain McDonald's, or your friend works at Dairy Queen and they, like, really hook it up. I'm sure there's probably a way to do it that's a little bit better. Considering they gave me a sandwich the first time, my hopes were not very high. My expectations were not, through the roof. It's good, but I think maybe if it was warmer, maybe I'll throw it in the oven later or something. It's not super warm. It's not like it's not moist, or it's squishy, but it's not moist, I should say. Like it's not like, it doesn't have like a good like cake bite to it. I don't know how to say it. Let me just say another bite.
Is it like a brownie?
It's like a brownie. But the Oreo is like, here's the thing. This is a pet peeve of mine. Maybe Oreo lovers can relate to this. When you have something Oreo and it's just Oreo topping, meaning you just take the fucking tops of the Oreo with no cream and you just like crumble that onto something, to me that's not Oreo. That's cookies and cream. Actually, no. Well, that's the thing. Most times you get cookies and cream and it's like Oreo topping and ice cream. And that's what I'm saying. There's no cream involved. The Oreo cream is what makes it good, bro. You need the whole package. I need to see these guys with the cream in the middle. I'm gonna keep that one out now that I touched that. This is good, but there's cream in the middle of this, but it's like a marshmallow thing. And I love marshmallow, but it's just not, I don't know, maybe it's not hot enough. It's not hitting. Looks better than the last cookie footlong. Yeah, the last one was not good. Yeah, the Post Malone shit is good. I'm gonna give this a. I love Oreo, so it's not gonna get a bad rating. It's like a 7, 6.5, 7. It's not. It does look weird. It's not bad by any means. For $5, if you're at Subway, which I'm sorry, if you're already at a Subway, and you're getting other food, it's definitely worth $5. I would say that. Like if you and a friend were at a point in your life where you decided to go to Subway instead of any other food option, just throw one of those and it's $2.50 each. That's not bad. Yeah, 6.5, 7 on that. Wow. We really ate some shit. I don't know if I'm gonna eat the rest of that because that'd be crazy. But dude, get yourself some Post Malone Oreos. If you guys want to, like I said, for this, I don't not recommend it. If you were there, sure, but don't do what I did and go to Subway for this. It's not worth that. I also have this fortune cookie on my desk. I got Chinese food the other day, so I figured we could just see what this is all about. I like fortune cookies. What is a fortune cookie?
It has your fortune in it.
No, but what is it? Okay, let's see here. Don't let regrets from the past dictate your choices. Wow. Your next Chinese meal will bring you more cookies. Lucky numbers are 41, 33, 56, 5, 49, 31. But all right, I can't let these regrets from the past dictate my choices, I guess. Podcast is over. No, just kidding. Cancel the podcast. Yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I don't want to hold you guys up forever. I know we started a few minutes late today, so I apologize for that. I had to go back and I had to drive back to Subway to get my actual order. But yeah, I thank you for listening to me rant about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. If you are a big Kendrick person and you're super happy that Drake is getting destroyed, good for you. I'm not mad about that. I think, again, Kendrick makes great music. I thought the performance was good overall. Just, especially on a second watch, I will say, like when I had time to actually listen to it, and it wasn't just like people shouting and stuff. It was better than I thought it was, but I still don't think it was great by any means. And yeah, man, the Chiefs really fucked it up. These Oreos are good, and I have a new fortune. So that is the 293rd episode of the podcast for you guys. I know that was quick. We have some other stuff we're gonna get to next week. I have we're booked up for a couple months now, which I'm excited about. That was a big goal of mine, with the exception of today. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing some of those conversations and laughs with you guys. I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons. It should be up on the screen right now. If you're ever interested in getting behind the scenes access to extra videos, extra podcasts, as well as a series where I break down, I mix, master, write, record every single one of my songs, go to patreon.com/Darren Rita, and you can help support the channel for as little as $1. I actually have some new content going up on there this week. So if you're interested in that, you can do it for as little as $1. Plus, you get shout out at the end of every episode like that. So that's really cool. Also want to say a quick shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring another episode of the podcast. That's at Alpine House 2 on Instagram. Tell them Rita Detox sent you and get yourself going with a vacay. And with all that out of the way, man, it's been the 293rd episode. I will see you guys next week. Peace.